Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles, and this is Norris Plays in the Japanese Tier 10 heavy cruiser, the Zhao. The Zhao's been around since forever, although it wasn't the original Japanese Tier 10 heavy cruiser. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the ship that was, but the Zhao replaced it very, very early on. Oh, hang on a second. The friendly Iowa, he's got a crosshair over... Oh, it's that bounty hunt thing, isn't it? He's volunteered to be a... I don't know why anybody would volunteer to be a target in the bounty hunt, but, well, he clearly has. So, whoever on the enemy team sinks him gets some kind of prize. He also obviously gets some kind of prize for participating, otherwise why the hell would you volunteer to be public enemy number one in every battle you go into? But anyway, the Zhao. Like I said, not the original Japanese Tier 10 heavy cruiser. If anybody can remember what ship this thing replaced, please do let me know in the comments. Because it was very, very early on in the game's development, before the game even went live, I think, during the public beta. But anyway, the Zhao it is. And I've always liked this ship. Oh, hang on. Oh, God, there's a carrier in play. But it's only Tier 8. I mean, the Zhao's a Tier 10 heavy. Yeah, but it's the Kaga. The Kaga is not like other Tier 8 aircraft carriers. While it is technically, if not practically true, that it is no longer possible to deplane an aircraft carrier since the CV rework, because if a carrier player doesn't efficiently manage their squadron rotations, they'll start running out of aircraft that they can actually get up on deck ready to launch the next squadron. But that's never a problem for a cargo player. Oh, here we go. 12 8-inch high explosive shells launched at the Schlieffen. Battlecruiser, of course, 27mm of plating. Not a problem for 8-inch high explosive, and there's his first fire. But yes, the cargo. While it is technically possible, in fact even likely, for other aircraft carriers to start running out of ready aircraft to top up their squadrons in the second half of a battle, and despite the fact that you'd think that would happen sooner to a carrier because of the larger size of their squadrons, that is in fact not the case, because they do have an inexhaustible supply of aircraft below decks ready to... Oh, what? Seriously? Team have lost their submarine already? The battle's barely 2 minutes old. How do you screw that up? Anyway, the Zhao. We're not talking about the cargo today. Shot out at the Frederick the Great. He's already set one fire on the Schlieffen. The Schlieffen let that burn because it was just a single fire. Now he's in this great spot where nobody has a line of sight to him, and he's able to do what the Zhao does best, and just bombard targets, especially battleships, with concentrated barrages of 8-inch high explosive. And there's another fire. Switching his sights to the Petropavlovsk, he's now been spotted. It's the cargo, of course. This is the sort of thing I mean. Look at the size of that squadron. It's getting shot at by Sovietsky Soyuz and the Zhao. Gets its torpedoes away, because they're always going to get the first strike off. And he's coming... You see, it's just impossible to shoot their squadrons down. That's so many aircraft. He's effectively cross-dropping the Sovietsky Soyuz. Cross-dropping was one of the things that the aircraft carrier rework was supposed to prevent from happening. Apparently the cargo didn't get that particular memo. Anyway, the Zhao. Do try to stay on target, Jingles. Oh, hang on a second. Here comes the Schlieffen again. Oh. The thing I've noticed about Schlieffen players, and it's kind of the same thing that seems to afflict Yoshino players. They all seem to think they're just big destroyers, just because they have torpedoes. I mean, the Zhao has torpedoes as well, but you don't see Zhao players steaming into suicide range in order to get a torpedo salvo off. And if you think that is what Norris Plays is doing here, you're wrong. He's trying to angle up. I'm sure he'd love to break to port and try to get that island between himself and the oncoming Schlieffen. Yep, there are the Schlieffen torpedoes. But given that much broadside in a cruiser of any description to a battleship armed with 16-inch guns would be suicidal. So instead, well, he's doing this. And since he can't shoot at the Schlieffen because it's too close, lob some shots out at the Venezia instead. Now, the Schlieffen player is, of course, well, probably aware that the Zhao has torpedoes, although he doesn't necessarily know just exactly how good the Zhao's torpedo arcs are. Norris, of course, having to be really careful he doesn't back out far enough to give the Frederick the Great there shots at his ass, or he'll get it, well, shot off. Switch to the armour piercing, here comes the Schlieffen. Now, you know there are going to be Schlieffen torpedoes here. There's the AP. Oof. Not bad, but it is only 8-inch armour piercing. The Schlieffen's hammering some shots through his bows. Norris guns the engine because he knows the torpedoes are coming. Gets another armour-piercing salvo away. The Schlieffen is about to sail right into his torpedo arcs. There's the Schlieffen's torpedoes. Oh, actually, no, he's going to live. Can't say the same about the Schlieffen, though. That's 131,000 damage already, which isn't bad. I mean, it's cost him almost all of his health, of course, but, you know, he's still alive. He's got, what, 5,000 hit points remaining. Norris, might I suggest you use your damage repair party consumable at this point? You're quite safe, nobody's shooting at you, while you recover your breath. Or possibly pick yourself up off the floor and reseat yourself after laughing your ass off at the Schlieffen's demise. But you really should be thinking about using that heal. I don't understand what he's waiting for. It's not like he's going to heal more back if he just leaves it a bit longer. This is going to be a recurring theme throughout today's battle, by the way. I think he's just doing it to tease us. Norris, if you're... who am I kidding? When you're watching this video, if I'm giving you shit for not using the damage repair party, just you wait until you read the comments. Come on, Norris. Stop. There it is. Okay. So that should probably get him back up to around about 12,000, 13,000 hit points. Still not a lot. He is just in a cruiser. I know the Zhao is a heavy cruiser, but you have to remember the heavy part of the cruiser designation refers to the armament and not the armour. Oh, and just for the benefit of anybody following the scores at the top of the screen, yes, they are bugged. Of course they are. This is a wargaming replay. Norris's team are the ones on 350 points, and the enemy team are on 372. You might think that's a bit weird because the enemy team have suffered more valuable losses. A battleship and a cruiser are worth more points than a battleship and a submarine, and Norris's team are the only ones with a cap circle, although they have just flipped the cap at Charlie. But the enemy team started in possession of an early cap, which explains why they are, well, no longer ahead on points. Norris's team have just crawled ahead. So that's the scores sorted out. Now Norris has healed back up. Let's talk about why I love the Zhao, as Norris prepares to unleash some pain and suffering and demonstrate why I love the Zhao on the enemy Iwami over there. The team have just suffered a further casualty. They've lost their Groningen. Oh well, never mind. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll soon make it up. Until the Conqueror was introduced, oh, there it is, his 7th fire. But yes, we're getting onto the meat and bones of the matter now. Until the Conqueror was introduced, the British Tier 10 battleship, the Zhao was the undisputed twisted fire starter of World of Warships. Sadly, the Conqueror took that crown with its 16-inch high explosive. But until that ship arrived, years after the Zhao arrived on the scene, if you wanted to watch the world burn, the Zhao was the ship that you chose. 12 8-inch high explosive shells, each with a 19% chance of setting fire on target every 13.5 seconds or so. It's not... oh wow, what's going on? The team have just lost the Iowa, so somebody's earned some gold, and their gross occur first. Oh, this isn't good. Anyway, Norris don't have no time to worry about his teammates. He's got an Iwami that needs to burn. Notice how he is being extremely careful to ensure that nobody has line of sight to him, so he can basically keep this up for as long as it's going to take. There we go, there's a fire. The Iwami foolishly used its damage control to extinguish a single fire earlier, so, well, you know what that means, don't you? And, yep, there's the double fire. Can we get a third? Why not? Let's see. Shots out. Oh, the Iwami's manoeuvring. Oh, nope. Nothing. Double fire will have to do. He's having to back up now because, well, if he was to continue poking out, the Iwami might spot him, and he wants to do the same thing to the Frederick the Great. There's a double fire instantly. Now, he's used his damage control. So it's still going to be active when this salvo arrives, so this is not going to set a fire. Still does 8,000 damage, but it's not going to set a fire. This one, however, might. Not quite sure how long the Frederick the Great's damage control lasts. Yeah, there's another fire. I mean, 13.5 second base reload, but Norris has had the shit kicked out of him. Oh, you remember to use his heal again, that's good. Without any prompting this time. So he's got a substantially faster, with the adrenaline rush skill, reload than 13.5 seconds. And the cargo turns up to ruin his fun again. So he's spotted from the air, so of course he now has to move right after he gets the Witherer award, because that's two extremely pissed off battleships who you can bet are looking right at him and about to try to get some payback. So who's going to be shooting back at him? The Frederick the Great? The Iwami? Oh, it's the Iwami. Missed both my legs. Anybody get the reference? Bottom? Rick Mayall? Adrian Edmondson? No? Just me? Never mind. There's a scene where Adrian Edmondson smacks Rick Mayall in the bollocks with a cricket bat, and Rick Mayall says, "Ha! I missed both my legs." Hey! There goes the Frederick the Great. Burnt to death. So Norris has, I mean, that's his second kill, but he's got Devastating Strike, Witherer, High Caliber, that's 214,000 damage, by the way, and Arsonist. Oh, this is a Zhao player after my own heart. Oh, hang on a second. How's he spotted? He's surface spotted. Somebody can see him. That must be the enemy submarine. Norris, your heel's off cooldown, by the way. Oh, he's doing it again. Norris, damage repair party. No, that's your spotter. Damage repair party. Use it. You don't get more health back the longer you leave it. Oh, crap. Here comes the cargo again. Well, what can you do? Bend over, tuck your head between your legs and think of Japan. It wasn't that bad, actually. I mean, it set a fire. And they're coming back from the other side. Norris, use your heel. Come on, Norris. Stop doing this to us. I mean, I know you've only got one charge left, but it's not going to heal more the longer you leave it in reserve. That grey section on the ship's paper doll is the most it's ever going to get you back. Come on, Norris. You can't save the charges for the next battle. It doesn't work like that. Use the heal. You might be able to get yourself back up to 20,000 hit points. You can see what he's doing now, of course. He's trying to back up while they're all spotted. Again, he's using that island and spotted from the air. It's the bloody cargo again. He's coming back with torpedo attack planes this time. That Iwami is burning very nicely, though, isn't he? It's just a shame it's not thanks to Norris this time. Somebody else has set him on fire. And here come the rocket attack planes. Norris, please use your heal. Oh, they missed. You see, that's the only real effective defense against an aircraft carrier in this game. Just hope he misses. Oh, yeah, that hurt. Are you going to use the heal? He uses the heal now, doesn't he? Yeah, now you remember you've got a heal. Well, with the aircraft gone, it's kind of good news and bad news. He doesn't have to worry about any of those extremely angry battleships shooting back at him, but nobody's spotting them anymore. By the way, do you remember earlier he got surface spotted by something and we couldn't see anything, which meant that it had to be the enemy submarine? That enemy submarine player, the USS Salmon, I think he must be new around here because he thinks he's going to sink the Graf Zeppelin, the friendly aircraft carrier. This is a monstrously bad idea. Because while, for a while at least, submarines were the flavour of the month, there was no way Wargaming were ever going to let them pose any threat to their favourite children, the aircraft carriers. Yep, the Graf Zeppelin sunk him. And the Graf Zeppelin wasn't even aware that the submarine was there. Look, he's launching an attack against the Iwami. There go his torpedoes. They're airdropped. Yep, he's the one who sank the Iwami. Which meant that the carrier player didn't even realise that it was under attack by a submarine. That's because along with automatic damage control that lasts an entire minute, making it functionally impossible to set an aircraft carrier on fire, they also get hands-free, automated anti-submarine warfare defences. A carrier player could go AFK. And to all intents and purposes, at least as far as the Salmon was concerned, the Graf Zeppelin was AFK because he was controlling aircraft that were attacking the Iwami, and the aircraft carrier will still clap the cheeks of any submarine player who's dumb enough to try to mess with them. Meanwhile, back to Norris in the Zhao. We haven't actually, well, aside from, oh, Norris, what did that island ever do to you? But aside from setting, 14 fires, really? Aside from setting the 14 fires, we haven't really seen anything of The other reasons why I absolutely adored the Zhao, despite the fact that for most of this ship's existence, the community have been begging for buffs. And at one point, Wargaming actually relented and did, I can't remember what the buff was, but it was something completely pointless and trivial. But they did actually buff the ship, just to shut everybody up. But the thing that I love doing in the Zhao, something that Norris hasn't really needed to do so far in this game, was kiting, because there wasn't a ship in the game that was better at doing it. If a Zhao's kiting away from you, it's probably best to just let him go. Oh, there's another fire, because of course there is. Because, well, it's got surprisingly good stealth for a heavy cruiser. The guns have very good range. It's got 12 of them, as you've already seen. The high explosive really, really hurts. And it's also got torpedoes that it can launch behind it. So if you go chasing after one of these things, it's just going to shoot, set you on fire, disappear, shoot, set you on fire, disappear, and then you're going to run into a wall of torpedoes. Something that I must admit I was hoping to see Norris do in this battle, but he never really needed to. I don't think that high was going to last an awful lot longer. And, oh, well, it was the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg, of course, is another excellent kiting heavy cruiser. It can do most of the same things that the Zhao can do, but, well, until the Hindenburg was introduced, the Zhao was the best at it. And it's still really, really good. That just leaves the Karga, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, there's no way the Karga can win. He's got 3 ships to sink before Norris's team reach 1,000 points, and they're at 948, so that's not going to happen. But all 3 of the surviving cruisers on Norris's team are on extremely low health, so he can still kill one of them. Oh, and it's going to be Norris. Because of course it is. Yeah, they come. Actually, no, he should be okay. Because I'll say this about the Karga. Its rocket attack planes are crap. Yeah, they did basically nothing. Horrible penetration, low damage. You're better off using the dive ones. Even against small targets like destroyers, because the rockets are just useless. The good news, though, is that this should mean, with just a couple of seconds to go before the team reaches 1,000 points, that even though the filthy scumbag Karga is going to live, so's Norris. So there's that. Can't say the same about his multiple victims during the course of this battle, though. Let's take a look. 250,000 damage done. 250,000 damage. There's the Witherer award. No big surprise there. Arsonist, again, no big surprise. Devastating strike, those were the torpedoes against the Schlieffen. Dreadnought, didn't expect to see that one, given how reluctant he was to use the damage repair party. And of course, high caliber. 2,454 base experience. How much fire damage do you think he did? Let's take a look. Of his 250,000 damage, almost 93,000 was from the, count them, 15 fires that he set. I remember a couple of those fires got instantly damage controlled, so basically didn't tick for anything. Oh man, I love this ship, I really do. It might be an oldie, but it's a goldie. The Zhao has still got it. Well done, Norris. Great to watch. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.